Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and that applies as much to me as it does to you. My name is John Butt, and as I have described myself on my YouTube channel, and we'll come to that in the course of this particular talk. I'm the man who brought the archers. I'm known as the man who brought the archers to Afghanistan. So just a few words about myself, because it's good to know who's talking to you when someone is talking to you on the internet, particularly. If you know that person face to face, then you're likely to know more about them. If someone is talking to you on the internet, you should look into who they are. And so to save you the trouble, I'd like to give a few words introducing myself. So I converted to Islam in 1970, and then after converting to Islam, I embarked on a 15-year madrasa education. I began my studies in the frontier amongst the Pashtuns, and that's why I'm also known as a Pashtun Englishman, because I've spent long periods and most of my career actually in the media, as we're coming to also in the course of this particular discussion or discourse, has been in and around Afghanistan, most of my media career. So unusually, you already really have got the gist of the fact that I went from education in madrasa to a career in the media. So first of all, in my media career, I was covering normal journalistic stories, and then from that covering a more conventional type of journalism, I moved on to what I do call storytelling in a contemporary context, sort of a more storytelling type of media work, and so looking at the issues of the day, but not through conventional journalistic stories, but through storytelling, traditional storytelling. So it was in this capacity that I became the person the man who brought the archers to Afghanistan, because the archers, as some of you may know, is a long-running BBC radio soap opera, and soap opera is a collection of stories about life in general, centering on a particular community. So that's what we introduced in 1993 in Afghanistan. So just to go back to conventional journalism, as my career as a journalist, and also as a student of Islam, it struck me how the principles of journalism were very much akin to the principles of the collection and the compilation and the authentication of the Hadith of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that's what I would like to talk about first. First of all, just look at the common terminology between journalism and Hadith study. The word Hadith itself, it means news. Man ahadasa fi amrina hadha ma laysa minhu fahuwa raddun. For instance, ahadasa does something new. So the word hadith literally means news, but because it's come to be used to refer to the hadith, the stories, news stories from the Holy Prophet, news stories, you can call them from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life. That's why the word hadith has become specific to those hadiths, the tales from the Holy Prophet's life. So, but there's another word which is synonymous with hadith, khabar, That's still used in journalism as well. Khabar is to give a report, to file a report. So that's two of the I'm going through the sort of the terminology of hadith study and also journalism to show how the similarities between journalism and the study of hadith. So there's what does our the reliability of our hadith, it depends a lot on the ravi. The ravi is the source. What we'd call in journalism a source is the ravi of the hadith. So and that's the same in journalism. If we've got a good ravi, a good reliable ravi, a good reliable source, then that hadith is likely to be that news story is likely to be reliable and authentic. So it's very much on the basis of the reliability of the ravi or the source that our news story or our hadith becomes authentic. And the authenticity, the certificate of authenticity of a hadith is called the isnad. So I think you'll be able to see that these, the similarities between the hadith study and journalism, what we call in the usuli hadith and the principles of journalism. So it struck me very much, as a former student of Islam, as a student of Islam, and always, of course, is always a student of Islam. So it struck me very much how these, principles of the two the disciplines were very, very similar. So this, and it seemed to me that these, the principles of hadith study constituted the best blueprint that I had ever come across for good journalism. Because look how painstakingly the muhaddithin, the collectors of hadith, authenticated and collected the hadith, and and found out exactly who the source was, found out exactly who had transmitted that hadith, that tale from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life to the person who finally transmitted, to the muhaddith who finally transmitted the hadith, whether it be Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, or Abu Dawood, Nasai, or whoever. So this is perhaps the first thing. This on the basis of this, I developed a module, which I called the Principles of Modern Journalism, based on the principles of modern journalism based on classical, based on the principles of classical Islamic scholarship. So modern journalism based on the principles of classical Islamic scholarship. So that's one of the things that I'll be going into in my on this channel, hopefully. It's a very new type of course, and I haven't had. I introduced it in my own institute, which is called Mahad al-Dawa in Afghanistan, which was mainly focused in Afghanistan, but. Anyway, now I'm giving it a go on my YouTube channel. So hopefully that it will, reach a wider audience. So I have written here in my notes, because I'm not very used to talking to camera, so I did take some notes, and that I want to keep my talks to 5 minutes. I get this one is the first one, so you forgive me for the talk being a little bit long, and. Hopefully I'll get the gist of talking to camera. I'm not used to it at all. I'm a radio man, and I can to a certain extent talk to a microphone, but talking to camera I find, without an audience there, I find it somewhat difficult, but I hope the whole world has got used to it nowadays. So hopefully I will too. So there's another, course which I'm going to be talking about, and I'm going to go into that because I mentioned to you earlier that I went from conventional type of journalism and of filing news stories or journalistic stories. I went to a different. I went to a different type of media work, and that's what made me the man who brought the archers to Afghanistan, which I call storytelling in a contemporary context. So because this is now straight beyond 10 minutes, and I did promise you that my talks would be no more than 5 minutes, I'm going to go into that tomorrow. So thank you for your patience, and please leave your comments and feedback in the comments section below, and help me get a gist of this thing, and hopefully my YouTube channel will be beneficial and enable me to share a lot of my experiences over the years with you all. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.